Hello and welcome to The Sacred Feminine. My name is Sarah, and this is a YouTube community for spirituality, tarot cards, crystals, twin flames, all things spiritual awakening, spiritual journey in one place and a community, because I know when I had my spiritual awakening, I could feel pretty lonely at times, and I hope that I can be a guiding light for you all in your journey and just somewhere to feel at home. So let's get into today's video. Twin flames, the mystical, the infamous. Okay, what is a twin flame? Basically, it's a really intense soulmate. And I did not even realize that I had a twin flame until I was going through my period of separation with mine. And basically, your twin flame is your person. It's technically the other half of your soul, and you find like spiritual peace and spiritual union, and like it's a divine relationship that was made for you. Here are a few things that I found online though that I think are helpful. You feel a powerful attraction the instant you meet. You no longer feel like anything is missing. Your relationship feels like nothing you felt before. It's indescribable. You feel safe to be your authentic self. Your relationship is challenging. They trigger your spiritual awakening. That's something I added, but they also, what do they say here? They magnify your doubts and insecurities. They kind of bring out the parts of you that need healing because they are a mirror of you. You do need time apart. Their love is unconditional. The energy between you feels almost psychic. Sometimes you can have telepathy, read each other's minds. You can feel the same emotions at the same time. You can even feel each other like bodily functions, like pain. When my twin flame and I broke up, I have a lot of pain in my hands, and he said he could feel my pain. His pain in his hands like immediately after we broke up, and he has sometimes like headaches, and I would start getting these like pulsing headaches late at night. They see through to the hidden parts of your personalities, and you feel at home with them. It's the yin to your yang. It says that the twin flame is your mirror soul, and if you're fated to meet your mirror soul during this lifetime, you're reuniting two halves of a soul and making it whole again. You a lot of times have a larger purpose together, which is pretty cool, like a spiritual, philanthropic type purpose to make the world a better place. You can be a light worker. Okay, so now that you know what a twin flame is, basically a soulmate that is more than a soulmate. You fulfill each other. Here are the stages of a twin flame relationship. Okay, first one, we're all familiar with it. As a child, you're dreaming of your Prince Charming, your soulmate, you're yearning for the one. And then you meet the one, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the second stage. Falling in love, that's the third stage. The fairy tale relationship, that's the fourth stage. Classic honeymoon phase. Fifth stage, outer turmoil and inner purging. Things going wrong, like things getting intense because they're triggering like the inner child in you that needs healing. This is where you have to work through things. Sixth stage, runner and the chaser, aka like the separation phase. A lot of twin flames break up and have periods alone. Even if they're not formally like in a relationship, twin flames will spend time where they're not in contact because they need to heal. You don't have to be in separation, but a lot of twin flames need time apart to kind of realize who they are before they jump into this like all-consuming relationship. Can be all-consuming. Want to keep it healthy though. Seventh is surrender. A lot of runners are afraid of the intensity that their chaser brings. Oh yeah, twin flames are comprised into runners and chasers. I was the chaser, my twin flame was the runner. Basically, the runner can be afraid of the connection, can be afraid of the realness of the connection, can feel like they're not ready, can feel like they're not good enough for their twin flame, can feel like, am I just done like dating kind of thing. More though, I feel like it's insecurity and that they don't feel like they're good enough for their twin flame. The chaser feels like they don't really have anything unless they have their twin flame. They just feel like frustrated when the runner doesn't get it. They might need more consoling in the relationship. They need to be more independent and like establish themselves more outside of their relationship in order for the twin flame union to be harmonious. And this is something that happens in like kind of the running chasing phase. And then after surrender, that's usually when the souls find their way back to each other and have union. I'm holding my smoky quartz, by the way. It's like very grounding. But yeah, those are the stages. I definitely went through all those stages with my twin flame, who is now my fiance. How did I meet my twin flame? Basically, I was going to college. I'm now out of college, but I was entering my freshman year at Santa Clara University. Really excited, kind of nervous though. So I live in San Diego, and I went to high school in San Diego, and a mutual friend of Tommy and I, Tommy is my twin flame. Here's a picture, by the way. And I'll do a picture of the day we first met. And Tommy and I were introduced through a mutual friend from our high school. Tommy was there first. He was with like the group of friends that I was meeting. And so I walk up to the La Jolla Shores. It's a beach in San Diego. And I actually was in a relationship, and I noticed him though. I'm like, oh, who's this person? And I was like, oh, you know, like I'm in a relationship. I'm meeting these people. I definitely notice, but you know, there's like nothing I can do about it. And yeah, I remember that day he tells me like, he's like, whoa, I want to basically I want to be with her. But there was this instant attraction. There was this instant pull that we had toward each other, and it was magical and it was sweet. We were next to each other in the picture that we took, but I was still in a relationship. He was not. But I remember we went to all get gelato together, and the guy giving me my gelato asked me for my number, and I turned to Tom and I was like, that guy just asked me for my number. That's so crazy. And I was so young, and he just said, Sarah, like, doesn't that happen to you all the time? And I remember I was like, is he flirting with me? So yeah, that's how we first met. Flash forward, my freshman year, he transferred into Santa Clara University as a junior, and I am best friends with him, our mutual friend Brianna, and we have this little like friend group. I break up with my high school boyfriend for a couple of reasons, but one of them was because I realized like I had pretty much strong feelings for Tommy at this point. Like we were spending so much time together, we had this like energy, and I broke up with this person because like it just wasn't working. And I like developed feelings for him. He develops feelings for me too. But we're definitely still in the running chasing phase. I still need to discover who I am. He still needs to discover who he is and realize that he's like great enough for me, and that like basically is, and that he is like centered within himself to feel ready for me. And that is like one of the challenges that we faced in our relationship. And yeah, I remember though, our first kiss was magical. It was like one of the best nights of my life. It was at his house near campus, and I just was like, things cannot get better than this. I remember thinking like, even though like, you know, nothing's gonna happen, because I didn't think we were gonna be together. He was very much giving the vibe that like that was not going to happen. I was like, this is still like one of the best nights of my life. And like, I remember we both were so tortured over each other our freshman year. And I just remember being like, I love him just because he exists. And even if he's not with me, I love him so much. And I was like, you know, definitely having a hard time, but I had to let him go, right? Like I had to, because it wasn't like, he wasn't in the headspace to have like a mature relationship at the time. So that's our beginning. We went to Big Sur together and had a really sweet time. We went hiking. He was my first date at my sorority formal, which was really cute. I went to some date parties for his fraternity. Yeah, we hung out in San Diego, talked all the time, like one of my dearest friends in college. So flash forward to my junior year of college. I have just gone and studied abroad in Italy, had an amazing time in Rome, and I have like more found myself. I discovered writing, I discovered more of who I am and what I want to do and who I want to be and all these things. And it is January of 2020, and basically Tom calls me one night after I go to bars with my friends in Santa Clara, and we just start talking, and he's coming to Santa Clara in February for some sort of business certification at the business school in Santa Clara. And I'm like, all right, let's hang out. So we make plans. We're texting all the time, though. We're talking way more than we usually do starting that year. And then yeah, he comes in February and we spend Valentine's Day together and like in a romantic way. And so that kind of like reignited our romantic relationship, because, you know, we've been friends now for 2 years since my freshman year, but we've only kissed twice. And we just decided like, okay, we're friends, because basically like Tommy wasn't ready. And I was like, all right, like we're just best friends. But that kind of changes when he comes in February and we like have some really cute moments together. And then flash forward again to August. I see him the day after my birthday, 22nd birthday, and we kiss again. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. And then he is working in the Bay Area and I'm going back to school in the Bay Area. This is kind of like during COVID times, but things are kind of changing. Like I moved back to the Bay. I was living in Southern California with my family at the time, summer 2020, like during COVID crisis. And I moved back to the Bay and we're hanging out all the time. He's coming to my house. We're spending a lot of time together. We're going like on dates. And and it's becoming more real. And so I'm like, hey, like, are we dating? He's like, yeah, like we are. We're not boyfriend, girlfriend, but we're dating. So that's in like September, I think. And then in November 2020, we become official on November 29th. This is really funny. On November 29th, I was like, so am I your girlfriend? Because I'm not just gonna hang out with you and like do all these datey girlfriendy things unless I'm your girlfriend. And he's like, yeah, you're my girlfriend. And then we become official and it's amazing. And we basically just start living together. I think that one of the aspects of a twin flame relationship is that it can move really fast because you're so divinely connected and it feels like you've known them your whole life. And yeah, we just kind of start living together. I'm living in San Diego at the time, taking a break from living in Santa Clara. I though want to go back to school and I'm like, hey, I don't want to be without you. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna move up there. So him and his friend moved to the Bay Area and we're just spending all our time together. Everything's going well, but Tom is really overworked. I'm going through some struggles. My brother dies in February of 2021. Mental health wise, we're both not doing too hot. We definitely are triggering each other's spiritual awakening, but it hasn't really gotten spiritual yet. It's more like we're triggering the inner child that needs healing. So all of this is happening. I graduate. Things are tense with Tom at this point, like not between us, but he's just not happy. He's having some business problems with his business partner. We're not in a great stage in our lives, but we're like, okay, fresh start. We're moving to San Diego. We get back here. It's like July, early July. And Tom unexpectedly breaks up with me. And so this is where our story begins. I will say, before we get into the separation phase, like it's magical, it's beautiful relationship like when we were dating before it is now again, obviously, in this engagement. A little bit of a backstory. I'm a Leo sun. Tom is an Aquarius sun. It's like a very beautiful, mystical, ethereal relationship, as my friend Spirituality by Gabriella says, like a beautiful painting under the sea. We definitely bring out the great qualities in each other and balance each other out really well. He's so calming. That's what I would always tell my friends. Like I just feel so calm around him and I help him to feel calm too. It's a beautiful, like nothing's going wrong in our relationship basically. Like people look at us like we're the golden couple and we are. This is before everything. But yeah, Tom unexpectedly breaks up with me. He's just not doing well himself and basically feels like he can't be the person that I need. And honestly, he couldn't. But I was very upset about it, obviously. But this is kind of where my spiritual journey begins. And this is where his spiritual journey begins. So we broke up July 11th of 2021 and got back together mid-October of 2021. So we were broken up for 3 months, but I will say this period of separation was crucial for our spiritual and just human development as people. Like I really needed it to like find myself more and to be more myself, like 100%. My psychic Marine Holler, and she basically was like, if you guys hadn't broken up, it would have crashed and burned. So we really needed this to like refresh our relationship. But this is where the true story begins. Okay, so basically I didn't know that Tom was my twin flame, but like we break up and I'm like, what's going on? I'm a mess. I stop eating, I'm crying, I'm not like functioning basically. And I go to my parents' house in LA. I'm living in San Diego. We both are, as I mentioned. And like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. It was just so unexpected. And then, but like the twin flame relationship is not normal, you know what I mean? It triggers a lot of challenging circumstances within each other and it makes you better people, but not everyone understands it. So my friends are just like, oh, like we're here for you, like screw him kind of thing. That doesn't help, you know? Because I love him and he's like, he's an angel. And I was just like, I don't understand. I'm not like, something doesn't make sense. Okay, this is when I meet my first spirit guide, Sabina. And basically I'm in LA visiting my parents. I want to get a massage. And so I go to this place to get a massage and this girl, Sabina, is my masseuse. And Sabina just starts talking about like astrology and the zodiac and like angel numbers and things like that. And then eventually like she brings up twin flames and I don't know what this is. And I knew like a little bit about like astrology and I was into it, but like not as into it as I am now. She was just explaining things to me. And then I'm having my massage with her and like there's a machine next to us and the machine stops on the numbers 444, which I saw when I first started recording this video. The machine stops on 444 and she's like, that's an angel number that your angels are like divinely guiding you and protecting you you and they're here for you in this moment. And she just like starts describing twin flame things to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this man is my twin flame. And this is when things started making more sense for me. So I meet Sabina the week after we break up, and it helps, but I'm still like, but we're not together. And I'm confused, but you know, there's nothing I can do. About 3 weeks after we split, I meet with this lady, Maureen. She is a tarot and tarot card reader and a psychic. And I'm just like, you know what? I want some insight. And I'm so glad I did, because she's so inspiring and she was really, truly helped me on my journey. So she's the second guide, Maureen. First Sabina, then Maureen. And basically Tommy like immediately shows up when she pulls my cards and she's like, oh, there's this man. You guys just broke up, but like you're gonna get back together soon, like definitely by the spring. And she's like, oh, it's lovely. Like you guys are gonna like, basically she's like, I see you getting married and like all this stuff. And it was just, it was really lovely. And she's like, yeah, like I see him very strongly here. He loves you very much, but he's just like having a really hard time, which was true. And I meet with her 3 times before Tom and I get back together, and the timeline kept changing. At first it was like, oh, like you guys should be back together by the spring. You'll get back together by September. And now you'll like don't know when you're gonna get back together basically, but like we ended up getting back together in October. So I think that like timelines and psychic readings can be very accurate, but because our situation was so fluid and we're having like these spiritual journeys, who knew when it would happen? I knew it would kind of happen earlier, and I was definitely wanting that outcome. But meeting with Maureen gave me so much joy and like hope, because I knew like you can't fully attach yourself to a reading, but it gave me a lot of hope, and it made me confident that we would end up back together. So that's in July. And then in August, right after my birthday, no, right before my birthday, I meet one of my best friends, Julia. She's still one of my best friends, and she truly was like my third guide. And she just helped me on my journey because she had a twin flame. She understood what I was saying. I was having a really hard time talking to people about this. I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about this because I was experiencing all these synchronicities and like seeing Tom's name and having signs sent to me from the universe. After I met with Sabina, I, started seeing angel numbers and things like that. And like with Julia, I found the tarot, and I met Julia at a yoga studio and like spiritual sanctuary in La Jolla called Trilogy Sanctuary that I still frequent and love. And I met Julia there, and that night I actually wrote in my journal, I manifested this. I wrote in my journal, I want to meet someone that I can talk to about my twin flame journey. And I met Julia and we became fast friends, and she basically was just really empathetic toward me, and we just are always on the same wave, and I don't feel judged by her. And that was just something that I was really needing in my journey. And I feel like a lot of you might feel is like your friends, family don't understand. And so I've found myself like making new friends, especially because a lot of twin flame journeys result in you becoming much more spiritual. So that's the goal, of the twin flame journey. So yeah, I found Julia. She introduced me to the tarot. We just immediately bonded and clicked. And yeah, we're actually going on a trip next week together to the Bay Area. So yeah, Julia is amazing. And so having Julia come into my life, not only as a guide, but as a true friend, was amazing, just because she believed me and she didn't doubt me and she didn't tell me I was crazy, and she was spiritual too. So it just really helped to have someone that I could talk to all the time and would listen with a caring heart, and was happy for me to have found Tommy and like looking forward to the future for me. So that was amazing. And Julia actually recommended me to my 4th guide, Dean. He is an astrologer, and he read my chart and just informed me of like different aspects of my chart and like how all of my aspects of my chart make sense. But one of the biggest things that he informed me of is that I have, clairvoyant abilities, and I was feeling like I did, but I wasn't sure. So meeting with Dean like really helped me on my spiritual journey, and it just started basically like my psychic journey. And that's something that I had no idea that I like had any psychic abilities or clairvoyancy in me. So just him explaining things to me and just being so sweet was really amazing. Okay, and then I meet one of my close friends, just as close as Julia, Gabriella, Spirituality by Gabriella here on YouTube. And she's just such a light, and I meet her at Trilogy Sanctuary, the sanctuary that I mentioned that is like my yoga studio, and it's like a spiritual place here in San Diego. And I meet her there at Trilogy through a mutual friend, and we just immediately hit it off. She's a Scorpio. She's just super cool and sweet and mysterious and just really understanding. And she also has a twin flame. I mean, a lot of people have twin flames, but the universe was just bringing me people that would like help me along on my journey. And meanwhile, this is like end of September, approaching October when we meet, and basically I'm just feeling Tom come toward me, like psychically I'm just feeling something come toward me, but I'm also feeling kind of stressed. And so I remember one day I was with Gabriella at Trilogy and I was like, I'm feeling like something's coming toward me, like what do I do in this situation? And she's like, well, you should get a protection candle and also just say like, I surrender to my highest good and nothing is permitted to take my energy. And I still say those things all the time, but that was kind of when I hit that surrender phase and I was no longer like trying to figure things out. I just surrendered to the universe, and like it was really cool how all the synchronicities were happening, like music, and I just have been able to connect with Gabriella about my clairvoyancy and tarot and Reiki, and she's actually my coach and she's my mentor, one of them. So along with Charmaine, who is one of my mentors as well, and she's amazing. But yeah, meeting Gabrielle was just also really cool because I feel like she just answered a lot of my questions, and the universe just sent me a little gift by giving me her as a friend and guide. What helped me most during the period of separation, because as you probably have read on the internet, it's pretty hard, was surrendering, because then I just felt so much peace and like knowing he would return to me. And like, yeah, people tell me I'm crazy, and I actually did feel he would propose even when we weren't together. And then when we got back together, he did propose. Obviously wasn't going around publicizing that I thought he was going to propose, but yeah, like surrendering, knowing he would return to me, and just praying, those things really helped. I'm just looking at my little list here about signs from the universe. I had visions. So yeah, doing those things just gave me so much peace. Things I started doing and signs from the universe for him and I, our songs kept coming on at like pivotal moments, which was really sweet. I had like a vision of a nighthead and a sheath of wheat one day, and those symbolize like abundance coming. Nightheads like obviously have courage, love, like unconditional love, bravery. Those were just like signs the universe was sending me. I met someone that was a lot like him and that like reminded me a lot of him, and just like a lot of the things that this person was saying like gave me hope. Just like all these like divine synchronicities, coincidences. We would feel each other's pain. I started like seeing like the left side of my body started mirroring his body. Yeah, like I started just having some visions, which like because I am clairvoyant, like it's going to be a little different for me than maybe for someone else, but those things really helped me. I saw a lot of angel numbers, obviously the songs, his name kept showing up. I would see a lot of signs like on when I was driving, and I briefly saw someone else for a couple weeks because I wasn't doing too good, and whenever I was with this person, Tom's name kept coming up, and I was like, oh gosh, I know, I'm being stupid. And it just was like the universe being like, hey, stop that. And then we got back together like a month later. And then I also did like meet with another medium, and she said that we'd be together by the holidays. And yeah, we got back together. She said she saw us spending like Christmas together, and we got back together in October. Some things that I did, I would light like light Reiki candles for us for like love and protection. I prayed for us. Some good advice that Jane gave me was to pray for an opportunity to heal our relationship, because our relationship was unhealed, and I did. And actually like I really had to just be super self-disciplined in this process. And I literally was praying to God, be like, give us an opportunity to heal our relationship. And he texted me being like, hey, I want to see you. Literally as I was doing that one day in the beginning of October. And he came to my house on October 13th, which is my brother who passed away. His birthday is August 13th. And so it was October 13th, and on that day there was like an orange moon in the sky. And yeah, so that's when we officially reunited. We had not seen each other, but having that silence and just like relying on the universe to like keep sending me signs was like what got me through. And doing tarot and exploring that, and I started reading tarot, I started meditating, I started doing yoga, all these things that were just like making me a better person helped me so much, and the people that I met along the way that are still in my life. So yeah, that is our period of separation. Some of the other synchronicities, I would see tons of birds, like I would see swans, dolphins, I would see like coupled birds a lot, which was really cool. Like our songs would come on the radio literally. Yeah, just a lot of nature stuff, and just things started started coming into alignment. So Tom calls me. He's very, how do we say, como se dice, spontaneous person. But I didn't answer his message when he texted me that he wanted to see me because I just didn't know when I would be able to, and I wanted to plan out. But then he called me on October 13th. He's like, hey, can I come to your house like right now? And I was like, okay. So I like hop in the shower, get ready real quick. Like, oh my gosh. And then he's at my house. And then I see him, and we both had lost a lot of weight, and it was just like home, and we just held each other for a long time, and he just like held me, and it was magical, and it was like one of the best moments of my life, and it happened like that. And yeah, we ended up just shortly after getting back together, and on October 28th he proposed. Super pretty and sparkly. But I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, okay, yes, I thought that he might, but like I didn't think about that was coming like right then. And Jane, the medium that I saw in Malibu, also told me like, hey, like Griffin wants you to know that you're gonna get married. Griffin is my brother who passed away. She sees you guys in a white dress. And yeah, like this happened a lot. Like whenever I would talk to people about Tom, like he would just, or whenever I would talk to anyone who's clairvoyant, like psychic, they would just like see Tom. But Griffin wants you to know that you're gonna get married, but like maybe not right away. So I like wasn't expecting a proposal, but it was really sweet. He asked me to marry him, and the rest is history. Oh my gosh, and I'm wearing all white. But yeah, I just like he had a whole spiritual journey too, and basically like God brought us together. Griffin is definitely one of both of our spirit guides, and even though it was a really rough journey, I wouldn't have had it any other way. So this is just a message to like give you hope and to know that like, you know, don't give up on your twin flame, because if you give up on them, they might give up on you. But surrendering is what's going to help, and don't give in to the running, don't give in to the chasing, don't try to make them be with you, because that won't work. You just have to surrender and pray, and you know, send out positive affirmations, look up manifesting, and light some candles, pray hope, and try not to worry, because this is a time for you too. So yeah, that's what helped me a lot. But I love him so much. We are getting married probably in August, and yeah, he's just my rock, and I love him to death. And I'm really glad that we both just like fully gave into the process, and that the universe never gave up on us. And it was so crazy. Like when we got back together, we could just feel like the universe celebrating. Like the sky was happy, the animals, the flowers, like everything was just kind of different. And let me leave a comment below if you kind of know what I'm saying. But everything just felt amazing. And yeah, I'm just so happy to have my buddy with me for the rest of my life. So yeah, that is my journey. He calls me his baby lady, which is cute. I call him Mr. Aquaman. But yeah, really sweet. If you want to know a little bit more about our astrology also, I'm a Leo sun, Aries moon, which we're in right now, a Virgo rising, my Venus is in Cancer, and then he is an Aquarius sun, Libra moon, Gemini rising, makes sense, right? Chaser runner, and then a Capricorn Venus. So yeah, I think eventually we want to get like an astrology like chart comparison just to see how that looks, but it's really fun. And this is just my story. I know that everyone's story is different, but thank you for listening. And this, if you're watching this is the sign to not give up. And I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Welcome to the Sacred Feminine. Namaste. Oh, also, my friend Brianna, who set us up, has set up a ton of couples who've gotten married, so I think that she is the universe's Cupid. Oh, another thing, Maureen told me that like we definitely have past lives together, and we've spent many lives together. I've been told that by another psychic as well, that we have spent like many lives together, and we were actually in prison together. And apparently I'm on lifetime 73 of 78. That is trackable, and he's on 36. But yeah, we have many past lives together, and some of the last lifetimes we like didn't get it, I guess. Like we didn't end up together. So this is like our chance, and we took it. I just don't want to say goodbye, but final tips: feel your feelings, have some sort of an outlet, a diary, writing, poems, dancing. Try not to just like, I didn't like hookup scene, like I wouldn't recommend that. Like it's not very satisfying. It's gonna make you feel worse. And use this as a time for self-care and hang out with your friends. I met so many great people and really streamlined who should be in my life. So yeah, thank you for watching.